PayPal just dumped Steam and Valve has officially responded. There we go. Hi, do we have extra crispy Boomy today? Yes. I am crispy. Well, a little bit. Alright. This is me cracking. Yeah. Anyway, like, first and foremost. Yeah.
Well,
Let's
today
go.
is August 13th, the day that we have heard so much about, that being the day that here on YouTube, the age verification AI system is going to be rolling out. Although, as discussed a few days ago, it seems like we were already having preemptive issues here on the platform that very may well have been connected to this AI rolling out. Maybe YouTube updated some stuff behind the scenes that was causing issues. I'm not 100% sure, but there was some very strange occurrences, including, as discussed, a creator getting hit by the age verification AI days ago. So that was all quite odd indeed. But we're here to talk about Steam and Valve because there's also an update to all that stuff today too. As you can see here, for example, on
that's what we want to talk
PC
about.
Master Race. The post saying Valve confirms Steam purchases with PayPal now limited to just 6 currencies and uncertain of when it will be fixed.
What?
Now, this is
This is stupid. This is so fucking
all
stupid.
the context that's been going on lately. For example, MasterCard was one of the payment processors that was getting a lot of backlash recently, given the whole collective shout situation and all that.
Yep.
And of course, a lot of very based people were calling up these payment processors and, let's just say, annoying the heck out of them on their phone lines, right? You know the deal. And so a few days later, MasterCard then makes this damage control statement on Twitter. They get a ton of backlash for that. They get community noted, etc., etc. And Valve even issues a formal response. In a statement provided to PC Gamer, Valve said that it tried to work things out with MasterCard directly prior to removing the games. And
what? That's bogus, indeed. It is indeed very, very, weird.
Suggested that MasterCard did have at least an indirect influence on the outcome, saying specifically, MasterCard did not communicate with Valve directly despite our request to do so, a Valve representative said. MasterCard communicated with payment processors and their acquiring banks. Keep that in mind, acquiring banks relates to today's news. Payment processors communicated this with Valve, and we replied by outlining Steam's policy since 2018 of attempting to distribute games that are legal for distribution.
Yes.
Payment processors rejected this,
and the ones that, you know, the hentai games and all the loot games and some of the more brutal games got kinda cucked. So, you know, I sadly gave my ID to YouTube for monetization later on. Oh no! Oh man.
And specifically cited MasterCard's Rule 5.12.7 and risk to the MasterCard brand. Keep that in mind too, actually. Acquiring banks and MasterCard brand. As that takes us back to whitehouse.gov. Yes, this official government statement. I'm talking about the executive order that was recently signed. In Section 4, we'll read some of this. They talk about removing reputation risk and politicized or unlawful debanking. Within 180 days of the date of this order, each appropriate federal banking regulator shall, to the greatest extent permitted by law, remove the use of reputation risk or equivalent concepts that could result in politicized or unlawful debanking. And that takes a...
This is very unlawful debanking, by the way. Damn games. Acquiring banks. Well, I want to see MasterCard's, Visas, and PayPal's balls in a vice and tighten it. That I don't know if I want to see that.
Us to today's news.
Hear about it? For fucking sure. See it? I can pass.
On August 13th, right here, this article from PC Guide titled Valve confirms Steam purchases with PayPal now limited to just 6 currencies, uncertain of when it will be fixed. Many regions will notice PayPal no longer works on Steam. We're going to scroll right down to Valve's official statement here.
The way I have seen it, Steam still has plenty of gift cards that you can buy. So it's not like there's no way to use Steam, but it is, you know, a bit more stupid That sounds like an Ender thing to say.
And remember when I said keep in mind the acquiring bank thing from earlier? Well, you can see that playing out right here too in the official statement. It reads, in early July 2025, PayPal notified Valve that their acquiring bank for payment transactions in certain currencies was immediately terminating the processing of any transactions related to Steam. This affects Steam purchases using PayPal in currencies other than Euro, Canadian dollar, Great Britain pound, Japanese yen, Australian dollar, and US dollar. We hope to offer PayPal as an option for these currencies in the future, but the timeline is uncertain. We are also evaluating adding additional payment methods on Steam for the customers affected by this. In the meantime, please use one of our other current payment methods during checkout. If you can't use any of the available options, you can consider using a Steam wallet code to add funds to your account. So PayPal is telling Valve that their acquiring bank is the one that's really stopping these transactions from happening in certain currencies. So this is all very suspicious, isn't it? We've got these...
Which is, by the way, just straight up illegal, kind of, you know? Through the... Yeah, whatever, it's fine.
Payment processors, including PayPal, and above them, the acquiring banks that they continue to talk about, and recently PayPal putting blame on the acquiring bank for not facilitating these transactions anymore on Steam. But according to Valve, it sounded like MasterCard was communicating with other payment processors and their acquiring banks in the context that seems like they were very happy to all take action against Steam to remove certain adult games, in particular ones that people, that certain feminists in Australia, I'm talking about Collective Shout, were complaining about, right? So it makes you wonder, is this just all the fault of the acquiring banks at the top of the chain?
No, definitely not. They're playing a big role. We're not going to deny that. But they're not solely responsible. There is no sole responsible person or bank in this thing. It is a collective of banks and shit and organizations that made this happen. It's not a single bank. It's not a single company. It's not a single person. It's a collective. As Collective Shout, all right, that is responsible for everything that is happening to Steam right now. Steam, I believe Steam is trying to fight it. Honestly, I want to believe, but they can't do it alone. Let's be honest, they have their hands full trying to keep every big gaming company in check, like EA and Ubisoft and all that bullshit, trying to put in ads in games and shit, you know? They have their hands full with that shit, so I'm actually, you know, on Steam's side here, even if they do have a little bit of evil in all their good, you know?
Or is it the payment processors?
Bro,
and the acquiring banks who are all doing this stuff together? We don't know like the exact details, but it's all extremely suspicious, and I don't think it looks good for the payment processors or the acquiring banks, whoever those specific banks are. The only distinction that I can really make based off the publicly available information is that MasterCard still looks worse than PayPal. Like, we don't have Valve making a statement about PayPal, like going to these acquiring banks and trying to get them to take action against Steam. Instead, it's apparently all the acquiring banks' fault for what's going on with PayPal and Steam right now, according to them, unless we get conflicting information. For all I know, hypothetically, Valve comes out with a statement later today or tomorrow, and it's like, no, we can actually see that PayPal went to the acquiring bank, but so far, that hasn't happened. But that essentially has happened with MasterCard, where as we went over, MasterCard was trying to deny this stuff, and Valve was like, nah, you guys ain't getting out of this. We know that, sure, while you guys didn't like directly come to us, you did go to them.
Yes, gaming community, it's them. They took away your Gooner games. Every Gooner gamer out there. You dare take away my wife!
And then being acquiring banks and, you know, then helped enact this censorship on our platform. So yeah, let me know what you think about that stuff as we try to put the pieces of the puzzle together. And now we'll take a look at the rest of this article here from PC Gamer. Wait, that's actually the wrong article. We're not going to do that. I take that back. This is the one I'm talking about from PC Guide, because we read the statement here from Steam at the end. But I skipped the rest of this article, which is only 2 paragraphs. Let's see what it says here, shall we? Steam users have recently started to notice that PayPal is no longer available as a payment option in their region. Reports caused confusion, as some users were blocked from PayPal, while others were unscathed. Now, Valve has confirmed which currencies are accepted through the popular payment processor: Euro, Canadian dollar, Great British Pound, Japanese yen, Australian dollar, and US dollar. A lot has been happening lately with payment processors on Steam and the broader PC gaming market. This kicked off when many adult games were removed from Steam due to clashing with payment processors' rules and guidelines. Valve responded to the controversy and reimbursed the affected devs with app credits for Steamworks. Those games remain unplayable via Steam. This person on Twitter responds to the news and is like, "Grok, explain this in a way that expresses the severity of the matter and how it affects Steam and gamers worldwide." Okay.
Well, it is a massive blow. That is about right, Grok. It can lead to many countries that don't have the main currencies, such as Euro, Canadian dollar, I don't know the other shit, Australian dollar and USD dollar, all that shit. It can severely impact how many people can actually buy games on Steam. Steam will face enormous difficulties if not every kind of currency can be accepted. Many will go to pirating or to other platforms which give games. It is bad. It is so fucking bad.
This PayPal change is a massive blow. It halts Steam purchases via PayPal in all currencies except those that I really don't want to read again. I've read it through.
Yeah. Also, it just strengthens Steam position as the only platform to acquire games which is for gamers. It strengthens their position because what other gaming platform is getting disattacked? That was and is still the main gaming platform. What is there? What else? I'm not talking the Sony yearly hacking where all your information gets doxed and shit. No. I'm talking about what other gaming platform gets attacked by so many companies, especially banks and payment processors. Holy fucking shit.
Twice.
It is weird.
Affecting billions in regions like Latin America, Eastern Europe, Asia, and Africa. Gamers face barriers to buying games, with fewer options leading to potential lost access or higher fees via alternatives like cards or wallet codes. For Steam, it risks revenue drops and user exodus unless new methods are added swiftly. Valve's working on fixes, but timelines are unclear. The plot seems to thicken. We take a look at this Reddit comment responding to the news back over on our Steam, and it reads, "Out of pure curiosity, I called PayPal's Polish hotline about this PLN currency. Just like people do with Steam itch.io games. Short version, the lady insisted I contact Steam because they were the ones who pulled the plug.
User
because
exodus on
prefers
Steam?
customers to use their balance, lol. When I read the information in my Steam shopping cart, she got irritated and said she'd provided all the information and then hung up mid-sentence. That's super fantastic customer service right there, folks.
Wow.
But that wasn't the end. A few hours later, the account was blocked due to suspicion of underage status. What? Holy smokes, that sucks. Honestly, I'm vindictive enough that I'm going someone on the horn, and
You need a credit card for PayPal. How the fuck is he underage?
I'm going to try to get that person suspended.
User exodus on Steam?
What?
Lol.
I'm vindictive enough that I'm going someone on the horn. Maybe it's a typo for like, I'm gonna get someone on the phone. Like, that's such a freaking giant typo though. I have no idea. I'm going to try to get that person suspended. I get that customer service sucks and the customer is oftentimes a jerk, but this seems to be something that is definitely going out of their way to screw you over. I don't personally have a PayPal account, but I'd be disappointed in something like this. Yeah, I filed a formal complaint about the quality of customer service as soon as I received the email about the account being blocked. It's obvious to me that's related, but at least I didn't submit a false report. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack in those like mere 4 comments. Person calls PayPal's Polish hotline
Yep.
gets told that it's Steam's fault, which does not seem to be true. Person refutes that claim. And then suddenly, a few hours later, their account is blocked on suspicion of underage
Oh no,
status.
would have seen that comment.
A different person responds, talking about how they would get someone on the horn, which I think means phone, but I'm really not sure. And the other person who did have that issue says that they filed a formal complaint about the quality of customer service as soon as they received the email about the account being blocked. Okay, I think I got it. So wrapping this up, let me know what you think about this recent action from PayPal
It is
and
absolute
Steam,
fucking
which
shit.
they're claiming is really the acquiring bank's fault. Similar to what we saw in the past, although with MasterCard, based off its Valve statement, we do seem to know that MasterCard also has some level of involvement, and it's really not just the acquiring banks in that situation. So what do you think about all of this? Who do you think is really at fault? Do you think this is like a joint action by some of these payment processors and acquiring banks to go after platforms like Steam? Or what? Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah,
It
look
is
forward to seeing you there.
definitely
Have a
fucking
great
weird.
day. And if you enjoyed my coverage, please consider liking and or subscribing. Appreciate you. See you in the comments and in the next one.
And on this note, please like and subscribe my video as well. Thank you very much. And subscribe to Hero Heyo, of course.